is watching us from a distance, wanting more from their own existence. Tell me, how do we make a difference for eternity?
This is Lincoln, home of the greatest fans in college football. A growing city that has managed to maintain that small town feel. At nearly 300,000 people, Lincoln is one of the fastest growing metro areas in the Midwest. In fact, Forbes magazine recently rated Lincoln as the 5th best U.S. city for business and careers. Yet despite its growth and despite the fact that the last decade saw an 18% population growth in Lincoln, overall attendance at church has continued to decrease. This is O Street, the main artery of the city, lined with bars and shops and businesses. 20,000 people congregate down here each day for work. It's also the heart of the city, with the university to the north, the state capitol and residential housing to the south, country club to the east, and central Lincoln back to the north. Downtown Lincoln is this unique convergence of young professionals, students, creatives, blue collars, white collars, government officials, and an estimated 1,500 homeless. This same convergence of people groups, though, has not been matched by the presence of the church, which in large part has left this area of town for greener pastures along the perimeter of the city.
What's the purpose of this life?
This is the University of Nebraska. With nearly 29,000 students, it's the largest university in a 200-mile radius. With students from all over the U.S. and 100 different countries, it's a place of ethnic and cultural diversity where people with different beliefs and different backgrounds, with different philosophical and religious convictions all merge. 29,000 students asking questions about who God is, with ideas about who God is, with thoughts about who God is, all merged here at the most worldview shaping part of their life.
What's the purpose of this life?
Statistically, when you look at the state of the church in our country, 80% of all congregations are plateaued or declining. 3,500 churches close their doors each year. It's estimated that half of all U.S. congregations didn't add a single person through conversion growth last year. And Lincoln's no different. Approximately 100,000 people in this city under the age of 30 have no religious affiliation. And we want to see that changed. We want to see people's lives changed for Jesus by His gospel. Imagine if God wanted to start a new, gospel-centered, missionally focused church in the urban heart of Lincoln. Imagine if He called a few disciples together that dedicated their lives to reaching the unreached for Christ and transforming this city by loving Him and loving people. And imagine if they went for it. Imagine if they really dedicated their lives to it. Imagine God taking these few and turning them into many and calling it a church. And imagine God transforming this church into a thriving body of Christ. And imagine God raising up leaders from within the church and sending them out to plant other churches in other parts of Lincoln and in other cities around this area. And imagine God doing this over and over and over again. And imagine God making all this to come to pass so that He will be more greatly glorified. What Lincoln doesn't need is another church to come to town, set up shop on the corner, open up its doors and say, here we are, 9 and 11, or another church option for you. What Lincoln needs is a group of people intent not on going to church, but rather being the church. A community of believers that sees that living out the gospel in the city doesn't take place in 2 hours on a Sunday morning. Rather, it takes place the other 166 hours of the week as we live in the city, as we work in the city, as we serve the city, and as we seek the welfare of the city. The mission of Two Pillars Church is to reach the unreached for Christ, to transform the city of Lincoln by loving God and loving people. This happens as the gospel permeates individual lives and transforms them from the inside out, one at a time. We're not interested in coming to town and bringing glory to ourselves. We're not interested in building a cool church. We're interested in bringing glory to Jesus. This is the vision of Two Pillars Church.
Only you, yeah, you're beautiful. Came down from heaven just to save my soul. Beautiful, you're so beautiful. The people of this world are praising